Okay, this is question 7 on WJC Additional Maths paper from 2019. So we're going to find the remainder when this cubic is divided by x minus 3. So what I'm going to do to find what we get when it's divided by x minus 3 is I'm going to substitute in 3. Then we always just change the sign on that and substitute it in, unless it's a more complicated one. Essentially what we're saying, that if it was a factor, we'd say have x minus 3 equals 0, so my x would be 3. Okay, so that's what I'm going to try and substitute in. If, when you substitute in, you get 0 coming out of here, then you know that this x minus 3 is a factor. If you don't get 0, then whatever is left is your remainder. So I'm going to have 3 cubed plus 8 lots of 3 squared minus 2 lots of 3 plus 6. So I'll plug that into my calculator. So I get 3 cubed plus 8 lots of 3 squared minus 2 lots of 3 plus 6. I get 99. Okay, so my remainder is 99. B. Show that x plus 3 is a factor of this cubic, x cubed plus x squared minus 41x plus minus 105. So same way, if I want to show that that's a factor, so that means that x plus 3 is 0, so x is going to be negative 3. So I'm going to try f of negative 3. So I get negative 3 cubed plus negative 3 squared minus 41 lots of negative 3 minus 105. So that's negative 27 plus 9 plus 123 minus 105. And if you plug all those into the calculator, negative 27 plus 9 plus 123 minus 105, we get 0. So if f of negative 3 is 0, that implies that x plus 3 is a factor. Okay, hence factorize. So you'll notice the word hence means use something that you've already done. And we have the same expression here. So okay, here is my grid for factorizing a cubic. Because I already know one of the factors is x plus 3, I can write that at the side. And in order to make a cubic, I'd have to multiply x by a quadratic in order to get the cubic. So that I've got something for my x squared, something for my x's, and my constant there. So my first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the top left box here, my number of x cubed. So I've got x cubed. So now I can figure out what this value is because I know x times this value is x cubed. So that's going to be x squared. And once I've got that, I can work out this yellow box here. So I have plus 3x squared. Okay, so these two boxes here are in yellow because they're going to make up our x squared term. So on x squared, we want 1 x squared overall. So at the moment, we have 3x squared. If we only want 1, then this one has to be negative 2x squared. And then you can see 3x squared minus 2x squared is 1x squared. That then means that we can find this value because I know that this multiplied by x is negative 2x squared. So that's going to be negative 2x, which means I can now work out this value. 3 times negative 2x is negative 6x. And in the same way as before, these two are my x terms. So those two are going to add up to negative 41x. So at the moment, I already have negative 6x. I need another negative 35x to give me negative 41 overall. And then I can go again. This number times x is going to be negative 35x, so that's negative 35. And as a double check, this 3 times negative 35 should give me my constant. It does, negative 105. So I now know that this initial function can now be written as x plus 3 multiplied by x squared minus 2x minus 35. What we have to now do is to look at this value, this expression, sorry. Okay, here's my grid. I want my x squared in the top left box. I want my negative 35 in the bottom right box. And these two are going to make up my x's. So minus 2x overall this is going to be. So I'm going to multiply these two coefficients together. So 1 times negative 35 is negative 35. So I'm going to find any numbers that multiply to give negative 35 and they add to give negative 2. Again, some of you will just be able to spot this, so you will need a little bit more help. So 1 and 35, I'm just dealing with 35 at the moment. 5 and 7, nothing else. In order to multiply to give 35, one of those has to be negative. And because we end up with a negative amount of x when we do this addition, then we know the negative one has to be the larger of the two digits. So the ones that we're going to have in order to give us negative 2x are going to be those ones. So plus 5x minus 7x. And it doesn't matter which way round you do them, because when you combine them, they're always going to give you negative 2x. So let's factorize. So if I take a look at this top row, there's no numbers in common apart from 1, but there is an x in common. So x can come out. And then I can fill in this value, x times x is x squared. I can fill in this value as well because x times 5x, oh sorry, x times something is 5x, that's going to be plus 5. I can also work out this one, something times x is negative 7x, it's going to be negative 7. So we now end up with x plus 3 multiplied by x minus 7, x plus 5. And that's it, fully factorized.